You all can begin.
Okay. Hello, ma'am. How are you? It is lovely
Hi, I'm
meeting
good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I met you at the Dubai Film Festival briefly. You're looking for a certain electric gadget, some charger or something, and there was, yeah, I remember even that small incident. Okay, coffee anytime is a title, is a conversation starter, a promise of a meeting. So there's a lot there. So tell me about the title first, and then we'll start.
Coffee is a very important factor of any family. It's passed from one generation to the other. Okay, and typically in South Indian Brahmin families, coffee is really important, but it's forbidden for kids. You know, the adults don't let them drink coffee till they're like 20.
Yeah.
But discreetly, they kind of let you drink coffee, saying it's good for the complexion. If you drink it once in a while, and if you have only drops of coffee in your milk, it's very good for the complexion. So like they kind of, get you into the groove of drinking coffee. Okay. And then your mother makes the best coffee, your father buys the best coffee for you, and then suddenly they leave you on the lurch to find your life, your partner, your success, and your coffee too. And nothing is the same as the coffee that you get outside.
Absolutely
Nothing is same as the one you get at home compared to what you get outside.
I'm waiting for my mother.
I think it's too important for South Indians. Coffee.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm a coffee drinker. I'm a filter coffee drinker. And how important.
Actually, you'll be surprised. I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
Which means I haven't grown up.
Okay.
I haven't grown up to be allowed to drink coffee.
Okay.
So it is important. When you see the film, you will know why the title is Coffee Anyone.
Oh, lovely.
Coffee is hope. Coffee is in the mornings, and it kind of gives you energy to go on with life.
And it's comforting. It's also a conversation starter, right? It's almost
Absolutely
like a prelude to something that's going to come. Like it's not okay. You can have coffee for other things, but it's also like let's get together and have coffee is also something that you expect.
Yeah, right. In this, it's to do with the person who makes the coffee, not somebody who's inviting you for a coffee.
Okay, right. Yeah, there is. Okay, I have watched Pen with great love and reverence to you on VHS cassettes long ago. And Kuti Anand and the Urla Karangu roast is something that I remember.
You'll be surprised. Kuti Anand is our audiographer for Putam Pudukale.
Oh.
He's done the sound mix for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing! That's amazing. That's such a and his big eyes and the way he looks at and it's
I know. He's a top sound recordist now. He acted in many films after that. He acted in Anjali. I don't know. I picked him up only from Anjali, and he acted in Pen. Then he acted in May Madam, and he acted in many films.
Okay.
And then he went back to school and college, and didn't act. And he's a top sound engineer now.
Okay, fabulous. Because those characters always stay with you, and the fact that they pull at your heartstrings. So are you like partial to those moments of those characters when you write as well as direct?
See, I always tell people I have memory of many great things. From the time I could look and observe things around me, which is around 8 years or 9 years old. And all those observations stopped when I was 20 or 19. It stopped because that's when my career started, whether it's cinematography or acting or whatever it is. I think 18 is when it started. So all my memories are from my 8 year to 18 years. So all my stories, whatever you saw in Pen, is all from those 10 years of my memory. I hope Coffee Anyone is a little more mature. It's probably from my 50 to 50 year. Let's assume so.
Okay, amazing. Okay, the fact that, of course, do you agree to this term women director, or you don't believe in the gender divide?
I do believe in women director and women actors because there is a marked difference. For example, I was just after I look at it positively. After I had a child, I was working with actor Karthik, Gautam Karthik's father, Karthik, Muthuraman's son. And we were doing a very, very emotional scene. And he said he needed little time to get into it. I'm sure that scene he did better than me. The film was Chinnakanama. Uh, but I didn't need as much time as he needed. And he said, like, how can you get into the character and the mood so quickly? I said, that's because I'm a woman and I'm a mother. Uh, Even being a woman is not an advantage, but being a mother and going through the pain and the birth and the moment that your child is born, the child is the most important thing in your life, and you become secondary or third, or you become nothing. You're not a priority anymore. You men will never, never experience that feeling.
Right.
You know, you are a parent, but still you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Other than something that happened accidentally. I always tell the men that. So I think as an actor also, there is a lot of difference between a man and a woman. Similarly, when you're directing, there is a lot of difference between a man and a woman. But now, there are so many men who can portray women so beautifully,
Yeah.
which is natural because they admire. Similarly, women directors, the men will have to be fantastic.
Right.
I mean, whatever the nature is, good, bad, ugly, the portrayal should be fantastic. That's what I feel. But there is a difference between a male director and a female director. Not in terms of craft, but in terms of emotion, definitely. And women directors conserve energy and money, and they don't throw money around. They don't waste money around. They calculate. So they are actually better directors than male directors when it comes to finances. You ask any producer.
Okay.
You work with a female director, you work with a male director. Who's easier? He will definitely say the female was easier. Even though you ask him to have a conversation with a woman, he'll say, no, I don't want to talk to her. I want to talk to the man. You know, women are difficult. I don't understand them. But when it comes to filmmaking, I think women are meant to production control. You know, that comes naturally to women because at home we manage the finances. It's never the man.
Right.
You take anybody from Shakespeare to anyone, Bill Gates to whoever, Ambani's. It's the women who take care of the finance at home. So that way, production control, finance control is better with women.
The respect towards women portrayed on screen, do you see imperative in today's narrative? Because films,
Respect.
Yeah, the fact that women characters and the respect accorded to them.
Never, now, today they're all scared. If they do anything wrong, there are so many movements and associations to point fingers at them. I feel sorry for them because when I was in my 20s, when I was making films, around Indira time, nobody did any of those things. But today you have to be so doubly careful. So even after that, if one is irresponsible, it's his fault or her fault.
At one point of time, you used to prove Kamal sir's writing, and you also write poetry. There is a lot of things that you do apart from, you're multi-talented. Now, and we also know that you and Mani sir used to write letters to each other, and some of these letters have made have entered into your scripts or your films. So can you tell me any of those scenes that come from those letters, which we?
Like, I think I'm going to be really slapped for saying this, but it's okay. I had gone for a Tamil film shooting, and I think I have a habit of leaving my thali under the pillow when I sleep in the night. So I think I'd left it and I'd woken up. And it was early morning shooting, so I'd left. So my husband had taken it and kept it really well inside the cupboard. And in my lunch box, there was a note from him saying that, my dear wife, you have left your marriage behind carelessly. And I've taken it and kept it aside. So please come and retrieve our marriage. He had written that letter to me. And then later on, if you see in Alai Paide, there is a scene where he's be shaving in the mirror, and then there it will be, she's a doctor, and she would have left her Mangal Sutra, and then he'll be, you remember the scene. So there were so many things like that, from our lives and from our notes and letters.
What about your letters to him? Any of those made it to the screen?
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. He's taken all my letters and he's taken the letters that he wrote to me also and kept it inside. So I'm sure some of them would have, would have been there. Now I'm not able to remember.
Okay, but you refused his the first time he approached you for a film. You refused that role. So how do you look back and but you collaborated with other things that you worked, but you never was.
I met him only when he was 32 years old. If I had accepted to that film, I would have met him when he was 25. So I think 7 years of relationship, I missed out on refusing that film. So in a way, I think I lost out 7 years of being with money. So it's my fault. But at the same time, as a professional decision, I was introduced to Kannada films by Balachandar. So if I had acted in Mani's films, it would have been I would have been a second heroine, and the heroine anyway was Lakshmi. So I'd have been, one of the people who were introduced in the film. Anil Kapoor was the hero of the film. Mani's first ever film. So yeah, it would have been very nice to be part of the film, but I would have missed out being introduced by Balachandar and the film that really launched me in Kannada. So I think everything balances out. Now I have him for the rest of my life. So what if I didn't have him for 7 years?
Okay, if this film has three Hassans and you have also directed the film. So tell me about each of them and what they bring to the screen, because you know them very closely as family. And I mean, you know two of them very closely as family, and then you direct them. So what is?
Actually, I wanted my father also to be part of the film, but he had a fracture just 10 days before the shoot and he couldn't be part of it. And it's our loss, I don't know if it will happen again, because all of us coming together, it's a miracle. It's really a miracle. And the story was such that, and the situation also, COVID, we couldn't really go out and we had to stay inside. So I wrote another 5 stories like this, which we've already shot, which you'll be seeing soon. And I'm not supposed to promote it, so I won't talk about it. But there, how Mani and I thought it was more me. I came up with stories and I thought of all my friends and I counted the number of actors in their house, and I wrote stories about them. For example, I wrote a story about Amitash and his father Girish, who was my classmate in the Film Institute, and Veena Pradhan, Amitash's mother, who's a good friend of mine. I know that all 3 of them can act, so I wrote a story for them. Okay. Then I wrote another story for Revati, her younger sister, and her daughter, and her mother. Oh. So I was already in the job, and then I wrote one for Jairam, which can be shot by Kalidas Jairam. So I had all these ideas, and I had even spoken to SPB sir and asked him if he'll shoot one at home, and he's actually agreed. But I didn't take it forward because I knew he was busy, and he's a singer more than an actor or a director. I would have asked him to direct it. So I was already on the mold, you see. So when Amazon approached me to do a film, so the first thing I thought was, who are all within my reach? Then I said, Anu lives opposite. She just lives opposite. Okay. I mean, if I call her now, she'll come out. That kind of a distance. And she's here in our house most of the time. And I have my mother and my father and Shruti. Shruti also. Shruti and I have been in touch during lockdown, because she was also on Instagram. I was on Instagram. We were chatting and she was alone. Every day I used to call her and Kamal used to call her. He was alone in Somerset, and all of us kept in touch. So I knew that there was a kind of relationship that was formed in those 21 days. And I thought, what if she's in another town? Okay. So that's how the Hassans came in. And my mother, I already made her act in my iPhone film. Okay. So there she had a shining role. She was shining like a diamond in that role. But here there are 5 of us, and hers is a cameo. When you see the film, you'll know. But I told her, is it okay for you to act? And she was more than happy to act. That's how. And Anu, of course, another short story also based on her, and Nazar. Like Indra, the father and daughter kind of a thing. So I had planned. So when I told her the script, and she was very happy to act with me and look after me and look after my acting and be an assistant director for me also. Okay. Wow.
This was such a wonderful conversation, and I'm very sorry to interrupt, but Manju, we'll have time for one last question.
I have many, but I will ask one. Okay.
Thank you so much, Manju.
You face the camera several times, and you direct as well. What are the cliches that you avoid that you had?
What are the cliches that I avoid? What is the other one?
The ones that you faced, what are the ones that, okay, I'll rephrase it.
Yeah, I got the first one. The second question?
What are the cliches you are avoiding as the ones that you had to face? You had no choice but you had to face these cliches.
You know, cliche itself, I thought it's not a very good word till Balu Mahendra told me there are good cliches.
Okay.
The cliches always work. Yeah. Mother and daughter, mother and son will always work. Yeah. A boy and a girl, the romance is a cliche, but it'll always work. So it took a long time for me to understand that cliche is not a bad word. You see? Cliche is something that will definitely work, but it kind of reminds you of something. If you're bored with that particular emotion, yes, it's a cliche. The cliche that I avoided was actually romance. When I was 16, 17 and 18, every film that I got was a teenage romantic story. And I used to get so irritated. You know, 18-year-old girl can be a sports person. 18-year-old girl can be the breadwinner of the family. 18-year-old girl can be a teaser who teases all the men and has a fight with all the men. 18-year-old girl can be a bully. Why are you saying 18-year-old woman is only to be loved and romanced? Yes. You know? That is what I used to avoid as a character. If you see my first 5 films, after Nenjithe Kilade, there was not a single film where I did a romantic role. Okay. I did not do. It was Palevana Cholai, about 5 men and a girl, and Kudumam Oru Kadambam, you know, things like that. That is one thing I avoided. But today, of course, my views are all different about cliches. I think romance is so important. Love is so important today. And pure love is so hard to come by. Any day, romance than any other issue for me, any other emotion for me.
Thank you. I don't have time, otherwise I have more pages here.
We'll do it another time. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much, and lovely, lovely speaking to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.